Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful wealth creation tools out there, the stock market. Seriously, forget all the jargon and the complicated charts for a second. At its very heart, it's a way for you to become an owner, and we're going to break down exactly what that means, starting with some people who absolutely mastered it. Let's start with a name that is just legendary in India, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. People called him India's Warren Buffett, and for good reason. He was a chartered accountant who started out with just a tiny bit of money and grew into an absolute titan of the market. His story? It's just a powerful reminder of what is possible. And what exactly was possible for him? Well, how about a staggering net worth of over 30,000 crore rupees? And that was built almost entirely by making smart investments in Indian companies. See, this isn't just some random number. It's a legacy built on one simple idea: owning pieces of great businesses. Okay, now let's look at another giant, Radhakishan Damani. Now, you might know that name as the founder of the huge retail chain D-Mart, but he actually made his first fortune as a really smart and famously quiet stock market investor. And you know what's really fascinating here? Damani's journey didn't kick off with some fancy business degree. Nope. He was actually a college dropout who figured out how business and investing work just through pure observation, discipline, and, well, good old common sense. And his success? An incredible net worth of around 1.8 lakh crore. Now, the main takeaway here is that these amazing stories didn't start with a silver spoon or some elite connections. They started with regular people who just understood how to get in on India's growth story. Which, brings us to a really, really important question. If the stock market has created this kind of unbelievable wealth for people who started with nothing, why are so few people in India actually a part of it? This chart right here paints a pretty shocking picture. In the USA, more than half the population, we're talking 58%, is in the stock market. In the UK, it's about a third. But then you look at India, and that number is just tiny. Just 4%. Let that sink in for a moment. In a nation of over 1.4 billion people, with one of the fastest growing economies on the planet, only a tiny, tiny fraction of people are directly taking part as owners in that growth. That is a massive missed opportunity for building wealth. So if we just step back from all the charts and the big numbers for a second, what's the fundamental principle that guys like Jhunjhunwala and Damani really got? What is the core secret to building real, lasting wealth? It's this, right here, owning a business. It doesn't matter if you build it from scratch or you just own a small piece of it. The greatest wealth is always generated by being an owner, not just an employee or a customer. Business ownership is literally the engine of economic growth. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. There are two paths to get there. Path 1, starting your own business. It's amazing, but let's be honest, it's also incredibly difficult. You need tons of money, you take on massive risk, and it demands your entire life. But then there's path 2, buying a stock. This lets you become a business owner with almost none of those hurdles. You can start small, you can invest in companies that are already killing it, and you don't even have to quit your day job. So what even is a stock, really? It's not a lottery ticket, it's not a gambling chip. It is a legal certificate that says you own a piece of a real operating business. When you buy a share of a company, you literally become a part owner. That means you get a piece of its profits and its growth. It's really that simple. And here's the wild part. You are already interacting with the stock market every single day. The bank you use, the soap in your shower, the cement that built your house, the car you drive, the medicines you buy. Chances are, all of these are made by public companies listed on the stock market. You're already their customer. The stock market just gives you the chance to be an owner, too. Okay, so now that we get what a stock is, let's jump into the key advantages that make this path to ownership so powerful and honestly so accessible for the average person. First, you can start small. You don't need lakhs of rupees. You can literally buy just one share. Second, you don't need a PhD in finance. Like we saw with Radhakishan Damani, what you really need is just good business sense. Third, it's super liquid. Unlike, say, real estate, you can sell your shares and have cash in your bank account in just a couple of days. And fourth, governments often give you tax breaks for investing long-term, which means you get to keep more of your profits. But here's the most important point of this entire conversation. The real reason to invest isn't just about piling up more rupees in a bank account. It's about something way more fundamental to your financial health. It is all about increasing your purchasing power. This is the real difference between being rich and being truly wealthy. Think about it like this. If a cup of tea costs 10 rupees today, but it costs 12 rupees next year, your 10 rupees has lost power. That's inflation, and it's this silent thief that's always trying to eat away at the value of your savings. And this is exactly where the stock market is a total game changer. Historically, inflation in India has been around 7%. That means your money is losing 7% of its buying power every single year if it's just sitting there. But the stock market, which represents the growth of the country's best businesses, has delivered average long-term returns closer to 15%. So it doesn't just protect your money from inflation, it actually grows its real value over time. So, the final question is really for you. Every single day, you use products and services from hundreds of companies, and that makes their owners wealthier. The stock market gives you the chance to be on the other side of that deal. So, are you ready to shift your mindset from just being a consumer to becoming an owner in India's incredible growth story?